this brings me to Alex Salmond. I said I'd swing back around to Alex Salmond. Right, Alex Salmond, the key to understanding nationalism is you've got to understand that Alex Salmond was a Maoist. He's still got his little Chairman Mao hat. Doesn't wear it often, but he still owns it. He kept that from his student days. Now, the Chinese Communist Party, when it was oppressing the people of China, and they killed, estimates vary, 20 million to 60 million, something like that, maybe more. When it was oppressing the people of China, it divided the people into two categories, the red and the black. The red were the people that the state liked, and the black were the people that the state hated. And they had to be oppressed, shamed, ridiculed, often murdered, but certainly publicly shamed and forced to apologize and beg for forgiveness, right? So, and Alex is a Maoist. So who were the bad guys, right? The black people in communist China? There were initially 5 categories. Landlords. Think what the SNP have done to landlords in this country. Think what they've done to the rental market. They hate landlords. It's exactly the same. Item 2, rich farmers. Go and see what they want to do on land reform. It's all about theft. Right? We're not going to have the large estates. We're going to be broken up because fairness. So they hate the rich farmers, what they perceive as the rich farmers. The third category was counter-revolutionaries. Now, to put that into Scottish terms, the word would be unions, right? Unionists, right? Counter-revolutionaries are unions because the revolution is indie, so counter-revolutionary are unions, right? Bad influencers. That would be you, Alistair. And people like you and people like me and people who are willing to speak up. Anyone who's not cowed. Right? And right-wingers, okay? That would be the Tories as they see it. Not that I think the Tories are particularly right-wing, but from the SNP's view as the Tories. So it's essentially identical to Maoism. And they did eventually, the Maoists eventually extended that to include traitors, spy, capitalists, and intellectuals, right? So traitors, well, that'd be unionists again. Spies, if you just have a wee look at how often they mention MI5, and I've been in some of the meetings, and they do, right? Why did they lose in 2014? MI5, it was a plot. Spies. This is openly discussed. I mean, you're laughing. You're laughing because it sounds ridiculous. Well, it is ridiculous. But this is what is discussed in their own meetings. Capitalists, well, that would be successful Scots. They're not wanted. Intellectuals, I'm not sure what the Scottish equivalent of intellectuals is these days because it doesn't exist much in the universities, with a few examples that are maybe on the opposite side. But
that's actually a very good question.
Yeah, maybe the pastors, maybe preachers. I don't know. I also don't know how that translates to Scotland.
People who write for the National probably is how they would describe themselves.
Well, we're a bit light on intellectuals that they would hate. There's plenty of bought and paid for intellectuals, but intellectuals who actually speak out, we're a bit light on those. But it is Maoism. Alex Salmond was a Maoist. It is Maoism. All the unionist pro-British side are the black people, and they view themselves as the red people. And what this is about creating division. You target the people you hate, you isolate them, you put them under pressure, you relentlessly criticize them, you call them names, you shout and spit and swear, and that's how you win. Now, does that sound familiar?
It does sound familiar. I have myself been at the receiving end of crowds of people shouting at me in those ways